Glass is the elephant in the room when it comes to sustainability in the wine industry. Up to 50% of a wine's carbon footprint comes from the glass bottle alone. Not only does glass require huge amounts of energy to manufacture, but due to its considerable weight, it consumes vast amounts of fuel energy in transportation throughout the supply chain. A typical bottle weighs approximately 550 grams, almost as much as the wine it contains, and heavy bottles can weigh well over a kilogram when empty. Despite a global trend towards lighter weight glass and the increasing adoption of alternative packaging, such as cans, kegs, and bag-in-box, the glass wine bottle still represents the biggest obstacle to achieving net zero. Paradoxically, the most environmentally friendly container may well be the glass bottle that is washed and reused, but there remains considerable challenges to achieving this.
We are Terrazas de los Andes. We are located in Mendoza, Argentina.
We are Taylor's Port. We're located in northern Portugal.
Our sustainability strategy is based on pillars that goes from regenerative farming to water management, CO2 reduction initiatives to educational programs with our community.
Sustainability comes from the fact that we have been in existence for over 3 centuries, and we wish to make sure that we protect our vineyards and our way of life for future generations.
The best summary of sustainability is that each company needs to build their own definition of sustainability based on what is material to the business model of that company and where that company is located. For Mendoza, winemaking is an identity, so we want to make sure through our sustainability program, we can contribute to spread the identity of Mendoza, biodiversity, organic production through all the world.
Nachhaltigkeit bedeutet für uns, heute schon an übermorgen zu denken und in kleinen Schritten gewisse Dinge zu tun. Hier sind ökologische Bereiche genauso wichtig wie ökonomische oder soziale Themen.
Welcome to Wine Tutor TV. This is Sustainability Countdown to 2030.
Basically, 3 ways that glass weight affects the bottom line are the shipping costs, the carbon footprint, so resource use and energy required to melt the sand and form the glass bottle, and the shipping costs associated with shipping the bottled wine out to our customers around the world. We are constantly looking for even lighter glass bottles that fit our needs, and have recently started working with a company that is on a similar path as us as far as trying to reduce the carbon footprint of the glass production, which naturally is fairly high. A lot of energy is required to melt sand, and also to reduce the weight of the bottle. So what they're doing is they're starting to work with electricity-driven foundries and to produce lighter weight molds.
Les matières sèches représentent pratiquement 51% de notre bilan carbone, et le verre, à lui seul, représente 77% de nos émissions liées aux matières sèches. C'est pour ça qu'il est très important pour nous d'alléger le poids du verre afin déjà d'économiser au moment de la production, mais aussi au moment de l'expédition et du transport.
At Terrazas de los Andes, we have been working on the weight of our bottles, as this represents the biggest portion of the CO2 emissions. Around 35% of the emissions of our core wine are coming from the weight of the bottle. That's why we have reduced from 590 grams to 385 grams, using the lightest bottle in the segment. Our glass bottles are sourced from Mendoza. We try to use all local suppliers to reduce also the CO2 emissions. Since 2022, we have moved to lightweight bottles, and the challenges that we have faced are mainly when it comes to the markets. We export our wines to around 70 markets globally, and some markets are at the forefront in sustainability issues, like, for example, the Nordics in Europe or Europe in general, as well as Canada. But other markets are still in that process to understand that the quality of the wine is not related to the weight of the bottle.
Currently, our bottle weights are, I believe, 466 grams for our claret bottles and around about 485 to 495 for our white Burgundy bottle. And we are now in the process of working with a even lighter bottle for our red wines that weighs only 404 grams. And we're exploring options for a lighter weight, even lighter weight bottle for our Burgundy molds as well. We do want to do our due diligence and make sure that a lighter weight glass passes the same quality control thresholds as a more heavyweight glass, as far as bottle stability and stackability and things like that. And so far, with the glass molds that we've tried out and the lighter weight glass that we've decided to start working with, we've been very happy with the outcome, and there are no drawbacks of using lighter weight glass when it comes to bottle stability, breakage, things like that.
The question of lightweighting bottles is something that's hugely important. We've never used a very heavy bottle for the bottling of port. We've never felt that to be necessary. But for example, in our Croft brand, we've been able to take out 25% of the glass. We've been able to do that also with some of the bottlings that we do for some of the own label products that we have produced for customers around the world. With Taylor's, one of our big objectives is to lightweight the bottle, but it requires a very fundamental change in our packaging, because we used a debossed area in our bottle. And when you have debossed areas of glass, that means the glass has to be thicker because of the fragility and the weakness of the debossed area. And the only solution to that, of course, is to move from a debossed area to an embossed area in order to present our brand. That requires a little bit more careful thought from our marketing and our customers and our agents around the world as to how we present the brand. But it's certainly a clear target that we have in order to bring down bottle weight. But there are other solutions to this as well, and the decision that we took to move our product into ready-to-drinks in lightweight aluminium cans. After all, let's face it, in excess of 75% of the aluminium in the world has been recycled. It can be pretty much endlessly recycled. It's lightweight. It uses an awful lot less energy to be chilled. Thick glass takes a lot of energy to chill down the contents. Thin aluminium, you can chill it very, very quickly. These are factors that are important. They're not factors that necessarily impact entirely on our carbon footprint, but if you look at the carbon footprint around the world of making ice just to chill drinks, it is a huge amount of cost and a huge amount of energy. So, it's not just about what we're doing, it's also about thinking about what matters to our customers down the line and how their energy will be impacted, or energy usage will be impacted as a result of how we package.
We communicate to our consumers our environmental credentials through the packaging. We have at Terrazas Reserva Malbec the lightest bottle in the segment. It's only 385 grams, and this is something that consumers will notice just by picking our bottle from the shelf. This means to break some paradigms, because there are markets where we are present in which quality perception of the wine is still associated with the weight of the bottle. And we are coming with a totally disruptive idea to use one of the lightest bottles available in the market. And when we think about the consumer mindset in terms of environmental topics, we see that there are markets which are more developed, which is the case of the Nordics countries, the UK or Canada, while there are other countries which tends to be followers and where still consumers consider as a synonym of quality perception the weight of the bottle. And this could be the case of our local market here in Argentina. So for us, it means that in the case of Argentina, the Argentinian local market, we are breaking some paradigms, bringing to the market the lightest bottle in the segment. In terms of demographics, within those countries, we also perceive a difference. While the older consumers are more traditional in terms of the bottle that they prefer, we can see that younger consumers are more developed in terms of, they are more conscious about the carbon footprint, and they are the ones which accept quicker a lightest bottle.
We've moved to lightweight glass molds. Initially, our glass molds had been anywhere from 540 grams per bottle for our lighter weight, that was 80% of our production, to upwards of almost 900 grams for upper end blends. In 2010, we moved to what was called the Eco mold, which is a more lightweight glass mold, and that weighed in at 467 grams, which is a significant savings, not only for energy, but huge cost savings for us as far as shipping things and greenhouse gas emissions. Just recently this year, we have moved to a more lightweight bottle, so this one weighs in at 400 grams. So we're doing our best to shave the weight off of each bottle, because when you load up trucks for distribution, all of that weight does add up. But the other thing is it takes a lot of energy. It consumes a massive amount of energy to create glass. So the lighter weight it is, the less energy it costs.
Our lightweight bottle initiative started when we joined the SWR, the Sustainable Wine Roundtable, which is an association of growers, wineries, also retailers like Whole Foods or Waitrose. So all the chain of wine is represented from the grower to the retailers. And working with all these people, we understood that 60% of the carbon footprint is made by the weight of the bottle. And it's when we started a program of reduction. And today, since 2008 until 2023, we made a 40% of reduction in terms of footprint associated with the weight of the bottle. Today, our main wine, Catena, we moved from 700 grams to 500 grams. That is a 28% of reduction. When we started this path of moving to lighter bottles, there have been different challenges. Hopefully, 99% of our bottles come from Mendoza, so are locally produced, which is a big saving in carbon footprint, right? And we have been working with these facilities to produce lightweight bottles, and now we have wines that are bottled in 380 grams, that is the minimum weight possible, trying to avoid breakage.
Nous utilisons dans l'année à peu près 38 millions de bouteilles et nous avons une partie en emballage alternatif comme des canettes, des bibes qui représentent environ 2%. Les bouteilles allégées aujourd'hui représentent 65% de notre gamme. Nous utilisons pour nos entrées de gamme des bouteilles allégées. Les bouteilles les plus allégées ont été lancées en 2009. Nous avons été dans les premiers à les utiliser et à les tester. La plus grande partie de nos bouteilles font 395 grammes aujourd'hui. Et l'ensemble des verriers commence à travailler sur des bouteilles encore plus allégées pour limiter le poids du verre. Nous avons testé récemment des bouteilles à 370 grammes. Nos fournisseurs de verre réussissent à enlever entre 5 à 8% du poids sur une bouteille sans en modifier forcément la forme et le contenu. Ce qui nous permet, sur des modèles standards, de pouvoir utiliser des bouteilles plus allégées sans engendrer de problèmes ou de différences pour le consommateur.
And we found that about 420 grams is an ideal weight for the bottle, and we will change about 80% of our production into that 420 or below, depending if it's a Bordeaux or a Burgundy bottle for the portfolio of Bonterra, to that lightweight bottle, and that will impact greatly our carbon footprint. There is a smaller percentage of wines that will keep a little bit of a heavier bottle, depending on the price point, where consumers do expect a little bit of a stronger bottle behind the price that they're paying. But on and all, we are making strides and efforts to reduce, over 100 grams per bottle, multiplied by over 1 million cases that we produce at Bonterra Organic Estates. It is a significant change for our carbon footprint and the future that we want for our company.
Les fournisseurs aujourd'hui de verre ou d'autres matières sèches travaillent beaucoup sur des économies d'énergie avec l'implantation de panneaux photovoltaïques ou des processus de fabrication électrique et utilisent de plus en plus de composants issus de recyclage comme le verre, le carton, l'aluminium. L'allègement des bouteilles, quand il est limité, ne va pas modifier la forme de la bouteille. Sur des vins de haut de gamme, comme des rosés ou des appellations renommées comme Châteauneuf-du-Pape, le fait d'alléger la bouteille va forcément induire une modification de la forme et de sa résistance, et aussi, bien sûr, de la qualité perçue par le consommateur ou le revendeur. Nous réfléchissons à l'allègement de nos bouteilles haut de gamme pour que le changement n'induise pas de problème en termes de qualité perçue sur nos clients et les consommateurs. Il faut toujours trouver le juste milieu entre l'allègement et ce qu'attendent nos clients, nos consommateurs, et ce qu'on attend bien sûr d'un vin de très haut de gamme. Et on peut dire que nous avons le même problème sur les rosés, qui sont des vins très marketés et dont on attend une image assez haut de gamme aussi. Et le second problème aussi pour les vins rosés, c'est qu'en plus, ils sont dans un verre blanc. Et donc, dans un verre blanc, il y a très peu de verres recyclés.
As Gurgitch Hills, our wines are ranged anywhere between $45 and $250 to $300 a bottle. Since we have been working with very lightweight bottles for quite a while now, upwards of 12, 13 years, our customer base here in California, but also generally domestically in the US, is very accepting of our drive to find lightweight options for our glass bottles. And we haven't encountered so far any pushback in our efforts to search for the even lighter options. So that's been very rewarding as we were working with our clientele, our customer base, to explore more sustainable options. Not only have we not received any pushback for our efforts to source lightweight glass, what we are seeing, as a matter of fact, is the demand from the customer base for lighter bottles in the marketplace, which is a delight for us to see because A, we've been doing it for a long time, and B, it resonates with our beliefs, and that gives our customers yet another reason to choose Gurgitch Hills wines. But we're very encouraged by what we're currently seeing on the marketplace, where the weight of the bottle and the sourcing of the bottle, whether it is sourced domestically, for example, or has to be shipped from overseas, whether that's Europe or South America or Asia, plays into the customer's purchasing decision.
Wir haben vor 2 Jahren eine wegweisende Entscheidung getroffen. Die hat hauptsächlich erstmal daher gerührt, dass wir unser Sortiment stark gestrafft haben und parallel dazu aber auch aus 4 verschiedenen Glasformen 2 Stück gemacht haben und dadurch auch die Glasgewichte extrem reduzieren konnten. Es hatte zur Folge, dass wir ungefähr 32 Tonnen an Glas einsparen können. Pro Tonne erzeugtem Glas werden ungefähr 200 Kilogramm CO2 benötigt. Das heißt, wir sparen allein durch diese Reduzierung ungefähr 6,5 Tonnen CO2 ein. Die Rechnung ist ganz einfach. Eine schwere Burgunderflasche wiegt ungefähr 800 Gramm. Alle Burgunderflaschen, die wir jetzt benutzen, liegen bei 400 Gramm. Boxbeutel als spezielle Form hier in Franken liegt ungefähr bei 600 Gramm. Wir benutzen den Boxbeutel nur noch für das große Gewächs, ansonsten im Wesentlichen die Burgunderflasche. Boxbeutel wird immer noch verwendet, obwohl er mit 600 Gramm relativ schwer ist, aber nur ungefähr für 1% unserer Produktion. Und wir wollen diese Tradition weiterhin aufrechterhalten, aber eben für einen ganz kleinen Teil. Das Glas, was wir beziehen, kommt im Wesentlichen von einer Distanz von ungefähr 200 Kilometer. Hier ein regionaler Glasproduzent. Bei der Umstellung auf mehr oder weniger nur noch 2 Glasformen haben wir festgestellt, dass die verschiedenen Segmente, die teilweise früher über verschiedene Gewichte der Flaschenform übermittelt wurden, dass das jetzt auch über andere Möglichkeiten funktioniert und eben nicht nur das Glasgewicht entscheidend ist. Wir haben keine Probleme gehabt bei der Umstellung. Im Gegenteil, wir haben eigentlich sogar die Attraktivität unseres Weingutes gesteigert. Wir haben 2007 bereits beschlossen, alle Weine von der einfachsten Basis bis zum großen Gewächs auf Schraubverschluss umzustellen, mit einer mittlerweile 100%igen Akzeptanz der Kunden.
Until recently, you couldn't be a known producer, high-end producer without this big, heavy glass. So basically, people were trained, when you grab the glass, if it's not heavy, it's a cheap wine. Now we are changing hearts and minds of people. Hopefully in few years, when people grab that heavy bottle of wine and say, I'm not drinking this, I'm voting against this wasteful spending. We are not yet there, but there is a huge demand, and there is some very wise wine writers that are harping at producers that are using those heavy bottles.
I'm excited to see what we as a wine community come up with in the future. I feel like the biggest innovations are likely to be around packaging. And if you look at the carbon footprint of wine in general, half the carbon footprint on average, more or less, is the package. And it's so high because the package that is overwhelmingly used for wine is the glass bottle. And glass bottles are heavy, they're round, they're fragile, they require high temperatures to melt and mold, and they don't get recycled very well. And that offers a ton of opportunity for innovation. I know that there are circular bottle use programs that are just on the launch phases. I know there's been lots of work looking at alternative packaging. We've been experimenting with bag-in-box. We've been experimenting with reusable stainless steel kegs. We think that both of those have an exciting place going forwards. But I don't know that we know what the ultimate best solution is going to be.
Hopefully, one day, eventually, the wine industry will be dominated by lighter bottles.
Ultimately, we do believe that the consumer will see a lightweight bottle as a sign or the sign of a winery's environmental credentials in the future.
If the Master of Wine theory exam could be summed up in just 2 words, it would be critical analysis. Or, in just 1 word, tell us the why. Here's an extract from a previous examiner's report that explains what this really means. The most common remark made by examiners with respect to the theory exam was the lack of critical thinking and analysis exhibited in these papers. It is important to realise that within the MW examination, many questions do not seek to just test a candidate's knowledge of a particular subject. Candidates are also required to show an opinion or make a value judgment. It isn't enough, for example, to simply state or describe what a particular producer does in one region, but this information needs to be used analytically and be part of an overall larger argument. Candidates must continue to work hard at developing this particular skill, as it is vital for passing the MW exam. Or, to put it another way, this is exactly what they mean in the introduction to every single examiner's report for the last 20 years, when they say, too much description, not enough discussion. They are not just looking for knowledge. What they want to see is an application of knowledge leading to an opinion. That is critical analysis. In summary, critical analysis is key to passing the MW theory exams. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit, not a vegetable. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. The formula for unlocking the MW theory exams is theoretical or book knowledge plus relevant examples plus the use of topic-specific vocabulary or jargon, all employed in the service of critical analysis and critical thinking, equals a pass. Showing critical analysis in paper 3 isn't always that easy, as the questions are often more objective than subjective. But the trick to introducing critical analysis is to show an understanding of the costs and trade-offs involved in the international wine business. As an example, exporting wine in bulk certainly reduces its carbon footprint, but it also exports profits and costs jobs in the country of production. By showing that there's a trade-off between the planetary pillar of sustainability and the societal pillar, you're showing critical analysis.
Talking about alternative packaging, we see that the light bottle is not going to be enough. So talking about Scandinavian markets, for example, even if they switch all their bottle sellings to lightweight bottle, they will still be very far from their emissions objectives, which means they're going to have to increase alternative packaging, including bag-in-box, for example, or PET bottle or cans. We see a great future in the can ourselves. There are different reasons for that. We think that the organoleptics of the wine during the tasting is quite amazing after opening the can. It's very easy to recycle. We have much more experience compared to other materials used in alternative packagings. And it's one way we are very much looking at and actually launching at the moment.
The Alternative Packaging Project has been a really, really cool initiative that we've worked on. In 2010, we started doing wine in kegs to distribute to restaurants across the US. We were doing them in-house until about 2014 when we partnered up with Free Flow Wines based out of Sonoma. We now send up tanks of our wine to them and they keg for us and distribute them where they need to go. This has been fantastic. We're saving, I think, about 1,500 cases worth of, dry goods, glass, corks, screw caps, capsules, everything. And it's better for the consumer. So if you order a glass of wine in a restaurant, instead of not being clear as to how long that bottle has been open, it's lovely, it's perfect. It's better for them, it's better for us, it's better for the environment. One of the reasons that we moved to the bag-in-box format was it's about an 80% reduction in carbon emissions between using traditional glass bottles in the 750 ml format between a 3-liter box. About 4 bottles of wine is going to weigh somewhere in the 11-pound range, where a box is going to weigh somewhere in the 7-pound range. So this is a massive savings, not only for carbon emissions, but also a space savings. It takes much, much less room on a truck, much, much less room in a consumer's refrigerator. A lot of people in Europe are much more accepting of the bag-in-box format. You see a lot of producers in France and Germany already doing this, but it's not quite as common here in the US. So, direct-to-consumer is really easy for us because we can have face-to-face conversations with consumers and everybody on social media. And it's sold out very, very quickly. But it's a different ballgame when it's on somebody's shelf and it's, a $95 box of wine. I would definitely say there is a negative perception of bag-in-box wine in North America. But I really think it's a challenge, much like any other non-traditional, or maybe immediately non-traditional format.
Nous utilisons depuis quelques années un produit alternatif au verre dans le vin, le bag-in-box. Donc, Famille Perrin a lancé des bag-in-box en 1,5 litre, 3 litres ou 10 litres, en fonction des marchés et des attentes. Nous utilisons aussi des fûts en plastique que nous appelons les kegs, qui sont destinés plutôt à la restauration. Et très récemment, nous avons lancé sur le marché US et UK des canettes de 250 ml en aluminium. Les packaging alternatifs comme le bib, la canette, le keg sont utilisés sur des gammes, on va dire, d'entrée de gamme, donc des vins faciles à boire, pas des vins qu'on peut garder longtemps. Ces packaging alternatifs sont justement amenés à remplacer plutôt des bouteilles légères que des bouteilles lourdes. Entre la canette, le bib et le keg, les durées de vie sont assez limitées. On peut dire qu'au plus le contenant va être grand, comme un keg, au plus la durée de vie va pouvoir être importante. Sur un bib, par exemple, d'1,5 litre, une canette de 250 ml, on aura une moins bonne conservation et du coup une durée de vie plus petite que sur un bib de 3 litres ou 10 litres ou un keg de 20 litres. Le meilleur bilan carbone, on va dire, sur ces packaging alternatifs va dépendre d'où viennent les matières sèches et comment elles sont fabriquées. Au plus il y aura de produits recyclés dans le packaging, au mieux ce sera. Donc on peut dire que là, sur ce qu'on utilise aujourd'hui, ce qui va pouvoir sortir en premier, ce serait plutôt les canettes qui sont en aluminium pur, et donc 100% recyclables. En parallèle avec l'allègement des verres, nous avons aussi travaillé sur nos cartons. Nous avons essayé d'avoir de moins en moins de cartons, tout en gardant la résistance, bien sûr, pour le transport. Donc, par exemple, nous avons enlevé dans nos cartons, enfin dans certaines gammes de nos produits, les croisillons en carton qui venaient tenir les bouteilles à l'intérieur et resserrer le carton pour avoir un carton verre-verre et utiliser moins de carton. De plus, nous cherchons aussi à réduire l'espace vide qu'il peut y avoir dans les cartons. Par exemple, sur une nouvelle gamme, nous avons utilisé un carton couché avec un intercalaire très fin en carton qui permet de réduire de pratiquement l'espace d'une bouteille entière, l'espace vide dans un carton de 6. Le fait d'enlever le croisillon dans le carton nous a permis d'économiser 14 tonnes de carton et de réduire notre impact carbone de 5 tonnes. Le carton verre à verre est beaucoup utilisé dans le domaine de l'expédition ou du vin. En fait, les bouteilles sont collées les unes aux autres et donc, comme le carton est plus petit, cela les empêche de bouger et de s'entrechoquer. C'est ce qui permet qu'il n'y ait pas de casse lors du transport et lors du stockage.
So the Porter Protocol, which was launched in 2018, was a really simple idea, and that is that the global wine industry can come together to actually share real case study examples of what individual companies are doing. It is my experience that the wine industry across the globe is doing a huge amount to mitigate climate action. Many of the people are keeping those examples to themselves. And through the Porter Protocol, through the solutions page that we have on the Porter Protocol, we've created a series of examples, real-life examples of what companies have actually done to help their business. Now, there are other pages on the Porter Protocol, like articles and discussions. We run conferences, we run web seminars, all of which are designed to help this issue, to help people converse, to help people share ideas, to help people have the confidence through understanding that some of the things have already been done before and that there are solutions out there. And the community that the Porto Protocol has created, fully available on the web, with all of the previous conversations, examples, all available, all recorded, all there as a resource that you can go to on every single topic related to climate change, and more importantly, what people are actually doing about it. So on the Porto Protocol Solutions page, we'll find a number of wineries who are doing a lot in packaging. After all, the issue of lightweighting glass bottles is something that is being discussed around the world, and lots of people are actioning that. Of course, there's also debate in wineries and marketing teams that it will somehow impact the ability to sell. And it's hugely important to see the case studies that are there on the solutions page, which show what companies have done, the reaction they've had from their consumers, and indeed the benefit that they've seen to their business by making such action. We here at Taylor's have also looked to lightweight glass, but we've also taken examples of what other people have done around the world, which has been shared on the solutions page in regard to packaging, in regard to simplifying our packaging. In the example of tins, for example, which are used to present our product, which historically we would have done with tube and a tin base and a tin top, and have now gone to 100% recyclable cardboard. A new way of doing it, something that we've learnt from others. And that is the whole point of the Porto Protocol, is that on the solutions page you'll find what people have actually done and the business impact that it has actually had. And that creates the confidence to be able to effect change in our own business.
Sustainable developing problems are complex problems. So for us to be able to be on the table, on the decision-making table as at Sustainable Round One table, is important because we can broaden the view of a developing country that have some benefits but some challenges as well due to economical situations. And therefore we can put our philosophy in place in this conversation. For example, when we start talking about alternative packagings, we need to be aware that for many countries, alternative packaging means that you need to bottle abroad, because you don't get any return on investment for a small or medium-sized winery if you invest in a Tetra Pak or a wine box. Therefore, for us, probably light bottle, getting the discussion of reducing or finding an alternative packaging as a lighter bottle is the best way for us to approach reducing the carbon footprint emission of transportation. Also, we have complex labor issues in Argentina. Poverty rise over 60%. Therefore, creating jobs and creating stable jobs over time for us is very important to promoting local development. So for us, that value is as important as other when we are evaluating sustainability as a whole. And bringing this kind of example to this table is very important. And also be aware that here we have been developing as a community with all the wineries a local sustainability protocol that has more than 10 years and 200 sites certified as the Sustainability Protocol of Bodegas Argentina, and bringing that experience to other countries and share value has helped us a lot.
From a purely environmental perspective, you could argue that glass bottles are the worst possible form of packaging. They generate a significant carbon footprint to manufacture and transport. But you could also argue they have the potential to be the best, the so-called glass paradox. Glass bottles require huge amounts of energy to create and are heavy to transport. Additionally, sand is the second most consumed natural resource after water, and the demand for concrete, glass and silicon chips is leading to the destruction of river and marine environments in pursuit of suitable sand. On the other hand, the robustness, recyclability and even reusability of glass gives it advantages over single-use plastic and non-recyclable composite packaging, such as bag-in-box, cans and Tetra Paks, even if they are lighter. Glass can be recycled without loss of quality, and if produced in foundries using electric furnaces powered by renewable energy, it may be possible to reduce the carbon cost of recycled glass to nearly zero. The ultimate eco-friendly package for wine is the glass bottle that is reused, and students should be aware of the trials and innovations taking place in various countries in an attempt to reframe the use of glass bottles and ultimately to resolve the glass paradox. The glass bottle is the single largest contributor to a wine's carbon footprint, both to manufacture and to transport. We can make it lighter, but eventually we'll have to replace it. 80% of all wine bought at supermarkets is consumed within the first week, and 50% within the first 24 hours. Wine needs to have its milk moment when it moves from a glass bottle to a container that not only is less harmful to the planet, but recognises the fact that most wine is drunk at the same speed as orange juice. This could be bag-in-box, can, keg, plastic or Tetra Pak, or even that most environmentally friendly container, the glass bottle that is reused. But ultimately, single-use glass has to go. To become a true net zero wine consumer, you need to shop local, leave the car at home, and just say no to single-use glass bottles. Alternatives do exist, such as bag-in-box, cans or pouches, but they all present their own problems when it comes to reuse and recycling. The ultimate net zero wine purchase is to walk or cycle to your local urban winery with your reusable glass container and have it refilled with locally produced wine.
L'ensemble des verriers travaillent aujourd'hui en association avec des sociétés spécialisées dans le réemploi au développement d'une bouteille de vin ou d'une gamme de bouteilles de vin qui serait réutilisable plusieurs fois. Donc on peut aller jusqu'à 10 fois. Le souci de ça, c'est qu'il faut pouvoir récupérer ces bouteilles sur le marché. Donc ça nécessite forcément une distribution assez locale ou ne serait-ce que dans le pays, donc c'est-à-dire en France. Il sera très difficile à terme de pouvoir récupérer des bouteilles qui sont parties aux États-Unis ou en Angleterre pour les réemployer en France. Nous commençons à expérimenter le réemploi de la bouteille avec notre gamme La Vieille Ferme. Nous avons une société parisienne qui est spécialisée dans la distribution de vins et d'autres boissons pour les restaurants et les bars. Et donc, on commence à faire des tests avec notre gamme pour voir comment ça fonctionne et si il y a la demande, l'attente et si ça peut un jour se développer. Le principal obstacle pour le réemploi du verre, c'est la logistique. Aujourd'hui, c'est comment on va récupérer le verre une fois qu'il est sorti de notre cave. Ça nécessite bien sûr un circuit local ou français. Après, ça fonctionne sur des softs. Donc ça devrait pouvoir fonctionner sur du vin, mais ça représentera qu'une petite partie de notre activité puisque nous travaillons à plus de 80% à l'export. Pour que ça fonctionne, je pense que la logistique doit se limiter aux frontières de la France parce que là, la distribution est déjà organisée pour tout ce qui est soft, donc normalement, ça devrait pouvoir fonctionner de la même façon pour le vin.
The use of real-life examples is indispensable to Master of Wine students. So here are the golden rules for the use of examples in your MW essays. They have to be original, relevant, global, accurate, specific, multidisciplinary, insightful, and current. Don't forget, there are 4 more films in the Sustainability Countdown to 2030 series. Study smart, stress less. According to OIV data, in 2023, bulk wine accounted for 33% of global wine export volumes and just 7% of export value. On the face of it, bulk shipping enables each container to hold more wine and less heavy glass and empty space, greatly reducing the environmental impact of each litre of wine. Local bottling in market makes it easier to adopt a standard reusable glass bottle as well. And there may be some quality advantages, for example, through the thermal inertia, better protecting large volumes. Though there are also challenges in avoiding contamination in reusable flexi tanks, especially for organic wines where antimicrobial agents are more limited. Despite the financial and environmental advantages, most producers continue to use glass bottles. Reasons may include concerns about wine quality, quality control, and consumer perception, but also practical and legal barriers. Bulk shipping requires new infrastructure and expertise, and some appellations even forbid it. There is also what many consider to be the bulk dilemma, the ethical question raised by adding value in the generally wealthy country of consumption rather than retaining this value to the local economy where the wine is made.
To bulk or not to bulk? Well, that is a very complex situation. For us, so far, we have chosen to stay bottle all of our wines for Bodega Argento because we think that through that, we make sure that we can keep the traceability and the certification we want to offer to the different markets. Also, we have a healthier economic balance through the sales that we created. However, we know that bulk in some strategy can help us to reduce the carbon footprint. However, we also know that sustainability is not only focused on carbon footprint. Sustainability is complex, have different material topics. Climate action is a piece of that, but not the only one. So when we think about bulk, we need to analyze not only the footprint of that particular shipment, but the losses of jobs that we may have on our own winery or on filling machines, and how we reach a scale of production that is healthier for us to generate profit that we can reinvest in our different sustainability programs, from Matriz Viva to our sustainability programs to the developing of our vineyards. Therefore, for us, we prefer to be a winery that have a climate action plans instead of having lines of product that can be zero carbon or near to carbon neutral, but only in a wine line of products, and then the rest, we don't care about the emissions. Therefore, we prefer to focus on what the company do as a whole, the sustainability program as a whole, the climate action as a whole.
At Catena, we want to, we export all the wine in bottles, and we don't export bulk wine because we want to first control the quality. Another reason is to the labor. In Argentina, we want to keep on bottling the wine here. You know, the bottle is produced in Mendoza. We want to use our labor here. We want to support the culture in Mendoza. We need to have jobs and create jobs, and that's important for us too. If we export the wine in bulk and bottle in the destination, we will be missing different jobs here, like the bottle factory, that is in Mendoza, but also the label factory, or the people in the bottling line, the people in the maintenance of the bottling line, transportation. So we have many jobs. The wine industry is an industry that is very high in labor, and this is very important for the economy of our province.
The sustainability aspects of Paper 3 are both complex and often contradictory. The glass bottle is both the worst container from an environmental point of view, but it has the potential to be the best, what is known as the glass paradox. On the face of it, bulk shipping seems to offer only upsides in its reduction of a wine's carbon footprint, but awareness of the human pillar of sustainability and the fact that bulk wine exports not only profit but jobs requires careful consideration. As we witnessed with the rapid adoption of screw cap closures in many markets in recent decades, radical change may well come about by being imposed on the markets by the industry rather than waiting for the consumer to demand it. The best possible outcome would be for packaging to develop and change, to not only reduce its environmental impact, but to also appeal to a new generation of wine drinkers. The use of topic-specific vocabulary shows authority. It's not emphasised nearly enough in the MW education programme that those students who employ the technical words and phrases associated with the topic under discussion have a much better chance of convincing the examiners that they know what they're talking about and ultimately a better chance of passing. The use of topic-specific vocabulary demonstrates to the examiners that you know how a professional in the topic under discussion would talk to a fellow professional in the same field. In other words, you know the jargon. And it's knowing the jargon just as much as having the relevant examples that will get you over the line in the MW theory exam. A tag cloud for an essay on sustainability in paper 3 could include the following words or phrases: lightweighting, bottle weight, recycled glass percentage, recyclability, composite materials, reusable kegs, bioplastics, biodegradability, paper bottles, space optimization, pouches, cans, bag-in-box, flexi-tank, refrigerated reefers, bulk shipping, reusability, eco-friendly glass, electric-powered glass furnaces, recycling rates, recycling programs, deposit return schemes, curbside collection, ISO 14001, ISO 14064.
It's like we are in green revolution about the practices. We don't have to just remove everything that has been before, but we have to take the good things and change all the rest.
Y algo mejor de todo, que la tierra ya la estamos cuidando más y ahora se puede decir que con este nuevo sistema va a ser más nutritiva nuestra tierra, más productiva y mejor de todo. Va a ser lo mejor.
For me, on a personal level, this is a very important discovery, regenerative farming. It made me a better person. Many people don't realize that when you're a farmer, you work with your hands, you observe nature, you see wonderments every day. Your quality of life is greatly improved. I wish that many young people would go and become farmers. I wish that all around these big cities, there'll be small farms, locally produced food with highest nutritional level that people available can buy. Instead of relying on these big supermarkets that truck our food 3,500 miles on average. And it looks good and is tasteless. So that's my dream. And I can testify to maybe possible young farmers that this is incredible life. That you are happy, you are calmer. When I am stressed out, this is where I come here to this vineyard, and I'm detoxed from all poisonous of daily life. And it's a great life to be farmers. So please, young kids, listen up, become farmers.
We are Tablas Creek Vineyard. We specialize in producing Rhone varietal grapes and blends from the grapes traditional to the Châteauneuf-du-Pape region.
We are Terrazas de los Andes. We specialize in producing Malbec wines.
We are Famille Perrin. We are producing fruits, and with that we try to make wine. Grenache, Mourvèdre, Syrah, Counoise, Terre Noire, Vaccarès, Muscardin, Roussanne, Picardin, Bourboulenc, and few more.
We are Catena Zapata. We specialize in producing high elevation, high quality mountain Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Chardonnay wines.
We are Weingut Heitlinger and Weingut Burg Ravensburg. We produce 100% estate grown, still and sparkling wine, all biodynamic, from Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, Chardonnay, Auxerrois, Blaufränkisch, and also Riesling.
We are Gergich Hills Estate. We are producing wine grapes to turn them into beautiful wines.
We are Bodega Argento. We are specialized in produce organic wines from terroir places, mainly Malbec, Cabernet Franc, and Chardonnay.
We are Taylor's Port. We have, for the last 332 years, been producers of port wine, where we specialize primarily in quality port wine.
We are Bonterra Organic Estates. We specialize in producing wines made with regenerative organic certified grapes.
Somos Trivento. Nos especializamos en Malbec.
At the estate, we have many grape varieties, Riesling, Pinot Gris, Gewürztraminer, Chardonnay, Auxerrois, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Noir, and Muscat.
We are Fürstlich Castellsche Domäne. We produce mainly white wines, and our main varietal is Silvaner that we've been cultivating for 365 years.
The favorite part of my job is working with soil, working with plants, and working with these amazing people.
Definitely the passion, not just the passion that I carry, but being around people that are passionate.
C'est de rencontrer les fournisseurs et de voir comment on peut créer des contenants, des fois de façon un peu artisanale. C'est des moments toujours magiques.
I love being out in the vineyard. I love working in the vineyard. I love tasting the wines.
You never do the same thing for 2 days straight.
To be able to put Argentina in the map of sustainability and push winemaking toward that direction.
Siempre buscar el respeto y la identidad por los terruños de Mendoza.
Das Schönste an meinem Job ist einfach die Vielfältigkeit. Es wird nie langweilig, man kommt früh auf die Arbeit und es sind immer wieder neue Überraschungen da. Es steht ein tolles Team hinter uns, hinter mir.